I'm Tom, 45 years old. I work as a government employee and am a section chief. My wife Helen is 38 years old. And we have a daughter named Alice who is a high school sophomore. We are a family of 3. Helen and I used to work at the same place, with me as her supervisor. I don't drink or gamble at all, and my only hobby is playing chess. Helen was quite plain back then, coming to work with almost no makeup. Helen was a high school graduate and was still young, and a bit naive, so she was always relying on me. I didn't mind being relied upon, and in fact, I found Helen adorable in that way. We were both serious, honest, and a bit plain, so it was a natural progression for us to start dating and get married soon after. After marriage, Helen quit her job and became a homemaker. Helen didn't particularly like working, and it was my ideal for her to quit her job and take care of the home. Soon after, Alice was born, and we lived a simple but happy life as a family of 3. Until Alice was in elementary school, the 3 of us got along well. During mealtimes, Alice would talk about her school activities, and we'd all watch TV together, discussing this and that. The house was always lively, but things started to change once Alice became a high school student. Especially after Alice got her own cell phone, there was less conversation. Alice, can you at least put down your phone during mealtimes?
Huh? No way.
We're all together as a family, so let's talk or watch TV together.
TV is boring, and why is TV okay but not my phone?
Alice was always looking at her phone even when talking to me.
Oh, just leave it. Times have changed, and Alice doesn't have much to talk about anyway.
I hoped Helen would back me up, but she mostly sided with Alice. Alice saw Helen as a good understanding partner, and the 2 of them remained close. So I ended up feeling left out and isolated in my own home. I knew this was a common scenario, but as a parent, it still worried me. I often saw news reports about the dangers of cell phones and social media. I didn't use social media at all, and I mostly used my cell phone just for calls, so I didn't really understand it. But I was worried Alice might get involved in some kind of incident. I saw on the news that there are a lot of weird people on social media, so be careful, okay?
Huh? How annoying. Tom, you don't know anything, so you don't have to say that. Alice is in high school, so she knows about those things.
Alice has been pretty since she was little, and she used to get scouted as a model when we'd go out. When Alice was in high school, she became even prettier and was apparently very popular at school. But my worries weren't just about Alice anymore. Lately, Helen has also gotten into social media. She's constantly taking all kinds of photos and even doing selfies, posing for them. And even though she was just at home and didn't go out, she was putting on full makeup. Moreover, she has recently started buying a lot of clothes. And she was only wearing them inside the house. Her spending has clearly become more extravagant lately. Hey, Helen. You seem to be putting on a lot of makeup lately. Is something going on?
Huh? Is there something wrong with that? I can wear makeup if I want to.
No, the makeup itself isn't the issue, but...
Then what is it?
Well, you used to come to work with no makeup at all. I was just wondering what prompted the sudden change. I tried to ask Helen carefully, not wanting to upset her.
Oh, that? It's not a big deal, but I've been using social media lately.
What? Really? I was really surprised to hear that Helen was using social media. She was never one to seek attention. Are you, like, posting photos and stuff? Selfies and all that?
Yeah, I was a little scared at first, but I'm actually enjoying it a lot.
I see. But why all of a sudden?
I saw Alice's social media, and she's getting so many comments and likes. And she has thousands of followers, which I found really impressive and envious.
Helen started talking excitedly.
I'm just at home all the time, and I don't really get to interact with other people much. And I never get complimented or recognized by anyone.
I had no idea Helen felt that way. I see. Helen, maybe you should consider getting a job. Now that the child rearing is settling down a bit. I casually advised that she should work if she wanted more social interaction.
No, that's not it. I don't really want to work. Alice has been doing these live streams on a live streaming app, and people tell her she's pretty, and she even gets paid from virtual tips.
She gets paid? Really? I didn't even know what these live streaming apps were, and I couldn't understand how our daughter, who doesn't have a job, could be getting paid. So Helen showed me the live streaming app and explained it to me.
I've never had that kind of attention or been called pretty before. When I complained about it in front of Alice, she invited me to do it with her.
Wait, so you're doing this live streaming thing with Alice too?
Yes, I've been doing it a few times now. People ask if we're sisters. After that, my social media followers started growing, and I get so many likes on my selfies, and it just makes me so happy.
Helen didn't usually talk so excitedly about things, and she was certainly getting prettier and prettier, so even though the clothing expenses were painful, I decided to go along with it for now. But from there, Helen just dove deeper into social media, and it became uncontrollable. Until now, Helen didn't wear makeup and didn't pay much attention to her appearance. As a result, she gave off a plain and unremarkable impression to those around her. However, it turns out that she has a naturally beautiful face. When she started wearing makeup and dressing nicely, she began to stand out and look stunning. Therefore, on her social media, the number of likes and comments started increasing rapidly. Helen got excited about it, starting to go to spas and fitness gyms, and becoming very focused on her appearance. Do you really need to go that far? It's just social media, right?
What? Is that jealousy? Please don't say things like that just because I suddenly became popular. I have to be a beautiful Helen for my followers.
While getting prettier was fine, her personality has become increasingly harsh. But the spa and gym memberships are pretty expensive, you know.
So what? It's fine. Aren't you happy your wife is getting prettier?
I am, but still.
Are you maybe a little jealous? With mom being so pretty and popular on the live streams, the followers might start targeting her, you know.
I had never even thought of that, but Alice's comment really shocked me.
I want to go to the spa too, so you'll have to pay for that.
Huh? You too, Alice?
Of course. It's not fair if only mom gets to be pretty. You're going to pay for that, right?
Alice so casually demanded that I pay for it.
Since Tom just plays chess on his days off and doesn't spend money anyway, it's fine if we use the money, right? We'll make good use of it. Alright, let's go to the spa right now then.
Wait, hold on. We're not done talking about this yet. I hadn't even agreed to pay, but Helen and Alice had already left. It was to the point that I could no longer save the monthly amount I used to. I wanted to rein them in before the household finances got out of control, but at the same time, I was a little envious that they had something they were so passionate about. And, curious to see for myself what makes social media and live streaming so fascinating, I decided to learn more about smartphones and social media from a younger coworker. In the meantime, I also became quite knowledgeable about smartphones and the internet, and I discovered the existence of an online chess app that you can play against others. And I even got into a chess app. I've also started participating in online communities, where I can exchange information and have casual conversations with fellow chess enthusiasts. As I checked Helen and Alice's social media and found out information the live streaming app, I saw that they were actually making money from their live streams through virtual tips. They seemed to be having a lot of fun just chatting and occasionally singing. I thought that perhaps they were doing a lot of things because they were receiving compliments like "pretty" from their followers and getting paid for it, which made them happy. While thinking about such things, I was watching a live stream of Helen and Alice, when suddenly the screen split into two, and a strange man appeared.
Hey, great job you two. Helen and Alice, let's do a collab today, shall we?
Geez, you're late. Matthew is here again today, yay.
Helen, you look so pretty today.
Thank you, and you're looking handsome as always, Matthew.
I had no idea what was going on, but it seemed they did these live streams together frequently. And apparently, Helen was now divorced, and this Matthew was her new partner. Apparently, Helen's ex-husband was a terrible guy, a drunk who gambled and wasted money on women.
What a horrible man. He didn't even have a proper job, did he?
No, he didn't. But I was a government employee, so my income was stable. That jerk took all the money I earned and spent it on booze and gambling. What a scumbag. It was the right call to leave him.
I couldn't believe they were able to spout such nonsense. I was initially angry watching the live stream, but eventually, the anger turned to amusement. At this point, I decided to thoroughly investigate by following Helen's social media as a follower. To avoid being recognized, I set up the account under the name Chess Master with a chess piece as the profile picture. It was the same account I use for the chess app. So, even though we were all living in the same house, Helen, Alice, and I retreated to our own rooms, each using different account names to do our live streaming. Some of us have become the broadcasters, while others have become the viewers. It has become a rather twisted living situation. Since I'm not very tech-savvy, Helen probably had no idea that I was watching her live streams and social media. Helen has finally started posting photos with Matthew on her social media. And when she did the live streams, he was always right there next to her. Afterwards, she either came home late at night or stayed out until morning. I was suspicious before, but I never thought she was actually having an affair. Just to be sure, I hired a private investigator to look into it. After a month, I got the investigation results. As expected, Helen was having an affair with Matthew. And she's been giving him a significant amount of money. On top of that, Matthew was involved with several other female followers, taking money from them as well. There were even photos of Alice happily going out to eat and hang out with the two of them. At this point, I've reached my limit and decided to cut ties with Helen and Alice. But I didn't just want to get a divorce, I wanted to get some payback. I have a business trip tonight, so I'll be staying overnight and coming back tomorrow evening. I told Helen this, but she looked so happy about it, which irritated me. The business trip was a lie. I just went to a nearby business hotel after work. Then, as Helen and Alice's live stream started, I joined as chess master.
Today we're doing a collab with Matthew. Go ahead, Matthew.
Good evening. I'm at Helen and Alice's place today.
Yay, how exciting.
I couldn't believe they brought Matthew into the house, and they didn't even know I was watching.
Oh, Chess Master has a question. How long have you and Helen been together? Maybe about half a year.
Yeah, sounds about right.
The three of them were giggling and answering other followers' questions.
Isn't that an affair? Huh? No, not at all. I'm single now, you know. But your husband is Tom, right? Huh? How do you know that?
The smiles immediately disappeared from their faces. I kept posting comments exposing Helen. Helen used to be plain looking at work and came in with almost no makeup. She became a homemaker right after the marriage. I kept posting comments that Helen would dislike, exposing these kinds of details about her.
Hey, who are you? Stop saying all these lies. Could it be Dad? No way, Tom can barely even use a cell phone. But you've been posting all this private information about our family.
Alice's comment made the other followers start buzzing.
If this really is Tom, that would be hilarious, watching his own wife and daughter's live stream.
Unbelievable. Sitting alone in some room watching this, how pathetic. I thought he was on an unusual business trip, but what's he up to? Please, just don't come back.
I quietly exited the live stream. The next evening, I came home from work, acting normal. I'm home. The live stream with Helen and Alice last night was pretty entertaining.
Ugh, so it really was you, Dad. Gross. Didn't I tell you not to come back? Were you actually listening?
Helen and Alice looked at me with such an annoyed expression. I just came to get a change of clothes. But are you really sure you don't regret this?
Huh? Why would we regret anything? We're having a great time with Matthew. Who do you think you are? How funny.
I packed a minimal change of clothes in a suitcase and left the house. I then stayed at a business hotel, working with a lawyer to prepare for the divorce. First, I demanded alimony from Helen and compensation from Matthew. And I joined their live stream again. This time I brought in the other women Matthew had been taking advantage of. I had them expose Matthew's true scumbag nature.
Hey, Matthew, what's the meaning of this?
No, it's not what it looks like.
What do you mean, not what it looks like? You've been taking advantage of your other followers too. Unforgivable.
The followers immediately started attacking Helen, saying, "You're one to talk." After that, the content of the live stream went viral, and the number of viewers kept growing, causing a huge uproar. Helen forcibly ended the live stream, but the backlash didn't die down. Helen and Matthew's social media accounts were flooded with terrible insults.
Tom, please help me. I've already broken up with Matthew, and I'm quitting social media. I'm so mentally exhausted, and in this state, I can't even pay the alimony.
Helen called me frantically, begging for help. No, I'm not coming back. I've already sold the house since I don't need it after the divorce. You need to move out within 2 weeks.
Huh? You've got to be kidding. Dad? Please help me, I have my entrance exams next year.
Figure it out yourselves. Go make money from your social media and live streams again. I hung up the phone. Even though I continued to receive relentless phone calls from Helen, I decided to ignore them all and leave the subsequent matters to the lawyer. It seems Matthew is being demanded compensation from several other people as well, and he can't even pay back his original debts, just piling up interest. His social media is still in an uproar, and he seems to be in a depressed, mentally unstable state. Helen and Alice have quietly moved out to a rundown apartment. Helen is so mentally drained that she's not even working, just trying to make pocket change through their infamous social media and live streams that I briefly peeked at one of their live streams, but it was too cringe-worthy to watch. As for me, I'm still happily playing chess online, maintaining a good relationship with technology in social media.